Hey, it's Mike Hambright with FlipNerd.com, and today's show is a very special one. As many of you know, B2R Finance is one of our platinum sponsors, which we're excited to have, and they're really a leader in the space of providing financing for rental property owners. Whether you're looking to refinance your current rentals or get access to funding to buy more, B2R is the clear leader, nationally for this. They have very deep pockets. The rates are impressively low, and it's really an awesome opportunity. So today I'm joined by Corey Donahue with B2R, and he's going to talk to us about the power of owning rental properties and building wealth through rental properties. And we're going to talk about the role of financing, which is always a big part of that, and quite frankly, how B2R can help members of FlipNerd.com with getting financing for rentals and helping you build wealth. So, Corey, thanks so much for being on the show today.
Thanks, Mike. It's great to be here.
Great to see you, yeah. So, do you want to kind of take a minute and talk a little bit about maybe B2R, and then we'll kind of dive into the power of owning rental properties. So talk about the kind of what's happened over the last, really 18 months, 24 months in terms of B2R coming on the scene, and people, could get hard money for deals, but getting long-term money for rentals was always tough because you're trying to find a community bank or somebody that kind of gets you. But B2R gets you, as much as anyone. Just kind of talk about, what's happened in the finance market over the past couple of years.
Absolutely. So, so my background is definitely in the space as probably many of the people that are going to be watching the show, and that is, I understand what it takes to build a rental portfolio, because that's what I did for a very long time. So, what we've done at B2R is try to create products that kind of bridge the gap between what's been available, which has been very limited from local banks, and hard money. Right? We know how expensive hard money is and how difficult it is to build a rental portfolio when you're paying astronomical interest rates.
Right.
So we've created a suite of products that will bring some financing and some debt to single-family investors, and that over the past 18 months has really, our job has really been to help institutional level banking understand what kind of us little guys need in order to be successful and build our portfolio. So we've definitely gone through the gamut of helping them understand, and we've got a really great suite of products now that can provide some very good financing to anyone really who wants to, all the way from the person who's buying their first rental property all the way to an institutional level investment company who's buying hundreds of homes a month for investment purposes. Yeah,
and historically, one of the bigger challenges with financing is even if you could find it, there was always, I've got money, but if it's a Fannie type loan, well, you're best you're going to get 10 deals financed. If it's with a community bank, there's always some cap on it. We'll give you a $500,000 line, but then they're kind of tapped out. A lot of the smaller banks, community banks are great, and I work with a few of them, but they often have a limit on how much they can lend to any one person because of just kind of how they're governed. But I know with you guys, they're effectively, if you're finding deals that are right and you kind of fit the model of what you're looking for, which is, I don't think is that difficult if the deals are good. There's really no limit on the number of amount of financing you can get through B2R, right?
Sure, none at all. With the more the merrier. We want to see our clients be successful, and this business through institutions coming into our space has kind of made the world aware that it's a really, really good business to be in. And our objective is to help the smallest investor all the way up to a larger investor do better business and grow this industry. So
right. So talk about we've got people that are listening to this right now that already have a rental portfolio and they're maybe focused on building it or maybe just maintaining it. They might want to refinance, and then people that are new that see this path of building wealth through rental property. So just kind of talk about the importance of, as a real estate investor yourself, of kind of building a rental portfolio that kind of why that's important and why people should consider that or focus more on it if they're not already.
Sure. I can just talk from my personal experience. It's about building my own wealth, right?
Yep.
And what we can bring to that on the leverage side is just incrementally increasing the returns that you can achieve. So rental properties are going to bring a number of different things, right? You get growth, you get tax benefits, you get just a plethora of ways that like no other asset class, that you can build your wealth. And you have diversity. There's so many different ways that real estate investing, single family investing can help you build wealth, and it doesn't require millions and millions of dollars to get there. You can start with a relatively small amount of money and and build a rental portfolio that'll provide income for you and your family for years to come. So
Yeah.
our role in that is to provide that leverage that you need to take that return from, a net 5 or 6% return and just incrementally increase that, by giving the right leverage.
Yeah, I know from my personal experience, my wife and I have around 40 rental properties, so not huge, but we bought them really well, many years back, and it's turned out to be a great thing. And I'll kind of compare that to something I just found out in the past week. I've never said this kind of publicly. There's really no reason for me to even say this publicly, but we have some retirement accounts, some different accounts that are invested in the market. Mm-hmm. And my background is I have a financial background primarily. So when I went to college, I focused on investments, and when I got out, I realized that, kind of how it's just kind of more of engineering. It didn't feel the same way that I thought it would.
Sure.
I can't control it, and
Right.
as somebody that has that background now, I feel so much more in control with rental properties. But I'll share with you, we have a retirement account that we just looked at the other day. My wife sent me an email. It's like a nastygram saying, this account, it would happen to be a relatively smaller retirement account, has lost 92% of its value. And we've just, we're so busy in my business that I haven't even been paying attention to it.
Right.
And I won't say what I invested in, but, we're just kind of making shots in the dark at stuff. And
Sure.
It's impossible to do that in real estate. You're not going to lose basically 100% of your value on anything. Markets are going to change, but not like that.
Right. I mean, you just ride it out, right? There are people always have a place to live. And the great part about real estate, too, is it's pretty liquid. I mean, it's not as liquid as maybe, an asset like you're talking about you can't control. But, there's just so many great things to single family. And it's been such a huge just blessing to me in my world, in my life, for my family. I mean, I couldn't emphasize enough the importance of having a rental portfolio.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that just gets better with time. I mean, it's not as passive as what some people lead you to believe. There's drama that happens, no doubt about it. I mean, you've probably gotten some calls. I got called that, my property manager said, Mike, are you sitting down? I was like, you've never said that to me before. Like, why are you saying that?
Want that call, right?
Well, this house is burned to the ground. Stuff happens. It's terrible that it happens, but it happens, and it's in the grand scheme of things, it's not a it doesn't end the game. And I guess unless you had one, but even then, if you're properly insured, you're fine. But what I see is, we've had an aggressive plan to kind of pay our houses down, and so while we haven't had them for a long time, we already have some houses that are paid off. We're able to kind of pay down debt quickly, and then when that cash flow starts to go up, and you kind of get it, we have a property manager, so we're starting to get checks, and we're like, that's nice, and it just gets nicer as you pay more and more of them off.
It does, for sure.
Yeah. So talk about, kind of historically, what's different now with financing that's available for landlords and kind of how it was in the past, and kind of maybe even a little bit about where things are going.
Sure. So in the past, as you spoke to, if you're doing a Fannie loan or some sort of local bank loan, you've got limits, and those limits are what we're working toward right now is try to remove as many of those limits within reason. Of course, we want to deal with good professional people who are going to take good care of their assets and pay their bills, but we want to try to remove a lot of the barriers to entry. So where we've come. Since when we started, we had a very kind of tight box, if you will, of who we could lend to. And as the financial markets continue to understand how safe and secure single family is, those kind of barriers to entry are getting less and less. Right. So whereas when we started, you may need a 720 credit score. Now we're able to get that credit score down to the 680 range. We're working towards getting it even lower. So if you look at kind of over the next year, personally, what I'm doing on a daily basis is trying to push our teams internally to figure out where we can remove those barriers of entry. So those of us that have kind of been in the business for a long time are trying to work with the Wall Street banker types and try to get some of those barriers to entry removed. And so I think that what you'll see over the next 18 months is a product that'll be very, very tooled to what an investor's needs are. Yeah. And we're really close now. Our products are very good. We're just launching a new product called single loan products. So we can do a one house. Oh,
that's great. I know you guys have been working on that, so that's great.
Right, and that's a big deal for us. We're really excited about that. It's going to launch in the next week. Awesome. And as that comes out to the market, that product by itself should be revolutionary for the industry. So we're really excited about what we can do to help single family investors and help them increase their returns and get good leverage.
Yeah, and what I've seen, for folks that are listening out there, what I've seen is from B2R to some other competitors you might have in the space is which is not necessarily good for you guys, but with this competition, what's great for investors is the rates just keep getting beat down. I know at one point you would only lend if you had, at one point I think it was $1 million. You had to have at least $1 million in houses that you could refinance or that you needed to finance.
Yep.
And if you didn't, then you'd have to have a bridge line to get there. And now you're coming all the way down to a single family house. So it just keeps getting better for investors. And I know rates have continued to kind of go down as well. So it's a, from a investor perspective, it's a great thing to have financial partners that are beating each other over the head to appeal to you more.
Yeah, not only that, but I think that it's our job. We want to partner in ways that make things easy and make the lending process as easy as we can. It's, as we know, as being investors, it's not always just about how low you can get the rate, which of course
for sure.
We all want the rate as low as we can get it, but it's the customer service that you can get. It's the speed at which we can operate. It's the ease at which you can submit for a loan. I mean, all those things are part of what we're developing. So as our websites continue to develop and as we're trying to use as much technology as we can to make things as easy as possible for our borrowers. So that's a big piece of what we're really concentrating on now.
Yeah, and one of the things that I've appreciated about B2R is that I know guys like you and some of the other people there have bought thousands of houses, really have a lot of experience doing this. And so just in another connection I have with B2R is constantly saying, no, this is what investors want. This is what investors want, and trying to get the financial side of the business to really understand what the Main Street side needs, what the person on the street, the person that's listening to this call right now really needs. And I know that you guys have a lot of influence on making your products fit what investors are actually looking for.
And that's a daily adjustment we're trying to make, and constant communication about that, because there are many of us in leadership roles in the company that have done, like you said, thousands of rental properties on our own. Yeah. And we know what the market needs, and now we're just trying to push as hard as we can get there.
Yep, that's awesome. Well, Corey, can you talk a little bit, get more specific on how B2R, we appreciate you guys as a sponsor. It's such a great fit for what we try to do at B2R, at FlipNerd, because we want our members to, ethically invest in real estate, but really kind of build wealth through real estate and help, provide for their families and build their communities and stuff like that. All the same things that matter to you guys. Could you maybe get specific on how B2R can help members of FlipNerd.com?
Sure. So, I mean, the first thing is going to be, the obvious we provide financing, right? So, B2Rfinance.com, if you want to go there, we've got a number of articles and that will kind of help your folks see what we do and understand kind of the process. That'd be the first thing that I would say that where we can help. And then we've got local reps all over the country that we've been in their shoes, so we can help by kind of helping them through the process. We all understand exactly what the challenges are with financing. Yep. So the best thing that we can do is just provide as much customer service as possible around that leverage and around making things as easy as possible for your clients.
Okay, that's awesome. And maybe you could share a little bit here on what kind of role you play, or why, I guess, if people have a rental portfolio right now, why they should consider maybe refinancing. There's really kind of two ways that people think about rental properties. Generally, is they either want to keep them levered up and financed all the time, or they want to get them paid off. But and I'm more of the type of, I want to get them paid down eventually. But there are opportunities that make sense to refinance, pull cash out to allow you to grow more. Kind of talk about that phenomena, I guess.
Sure. I mean, there's two schools of thought, right, that you're talking about. So either you're in I'm set where I need to be, and my portfolio is the spot where I need to be, and I want to pay them down because I'm looking at cash flow for retirement, or you're in growth mode, right, where you need to continue to add more assets. And everybody's different at what age level they're growing their portfolio. So if you're in growth mode, and that's where we can really help, because we want to give you as much leverage as possible so you can go out and buy more assets. Right. And with the market doing what it's doing now, and the rental markets, I'm very, very plugged in on nationally what's going on with rental growth. And right now, single family rental growth is just gangbusters in most major markets, major MSAs. So we would love to be able to help take some of that cash out of your properties and then go help you, be able to have leverage to buy some other ones and grow your portfolio. So if you're in growth mode, we're there. That's what you need. We're here to help, and we're here to make that happen.
That's great. Yeah, and sometimes people want to refinance, I think, too, just to consolidate their lenders. Like,
sure,
you may have
if you've got
properties financed, you don't necessarily want to pull cash out, but you're like, man, I don't want to deal with 5 different lenders that I have these things tied up in. Let me just kind of work with one partner that gets me.
Right, and a lot of what we're doing is refinancing out of those hard money loans too. So get high interest debt, we can get that interest significantly lower, and like you said, kind of consolidate everything.
Yep. Awesome, Corey. Well, any kind of final comments on B2R?
No, just b2rfinance.com, and we'd love to work with any individual who really wants to grow their rental business and retire early.
Fantastic. Well, for those listening, I have a lot of friends. I know a lot of people that are using B2R for their rental properties. I definitely highly recommend you check them out. Corey, thanks so much for joining us today. Thank you for being a sponsor of FlipNerd.com.
Absolutely. Really appreciate your time.
Yep. Have a great day. Are you a member of FlipNerd.com, the most robust real estate investing platform in existence, where you can find off-market wholesale deals and great vendors literally in your market? You can get access to advice from experts and learn about local clubs and events right in your backyard. If not, please visit FlipNerd.com and register for a free account. You can register in less than a minute. It's pretty much the coolest site that's ever existed in the real estate investing industry, so get on over to FlipNerd.com. Please note, the views and opinions expressed by the individuals in this program do not necessarily reflect those of FlipNerd.com or any of its partners, advertisers, or affiliates. Please consult professionals before making any investment or tax decisions, as real estate investing can be risky.